And finally you see, so good job me on actually turning the game on for you. And here you can see there's a lot of snow in here, absolutely everywhere. So that's something that I don't really remember seeing all that much. And there was a problem, as I was talking about earlier, and you couldn't have seen. There's a lot of ice for green, so he's actually moving with his villagers around because he cannot place a dock anywhere, which is actually a pretty big problem for him because he was hoping for it. But right now he's just moving with villagers and not doing anything at all, which should result in pretty slow time for him. But looking how it actually flew, I kind of thinking he wouldn't mind all that much because he is, by my experience of streaming Jedi games, the best on the Nomad, and he will be definitely able to come back from this kind of problem. And that's also the reason I think why he built the TC right next to the water, so that he can make use of this shorefish right next here, right next to it. So that's a pretty nice bonus for him. And well, let's have a look at the other players where they have actually landed. So Kenosi, aka Christ, is going here on the right, but he doesn't have all that much food. Just now getting in quite a lot of sheep, so that's going to be saving him. But otherwise, a bit of berries on the right, whereas quite a lot of nothing all around him. Some gold mines in here, and definitely in range of water, so if they happen to lose the water, that's definitely a problem for him, because he doesn't have anything on the left. Yeah, like literally nothing. He doesn't have any kind of extra gold in here. That could be really a big problem for the Jedi. So they definitely need to win the water, and this is going to be the only mine that could be safe for them. So yep, definitely. Quite a strong reason why to win the water for them. The third player to have a look at is right now Puccino. So it seems like that all three the Jedi are right now on pretty nice spot on the right side of the map, on the peninsula, basically owning it. And Puccino, as a Persian, is going to be the one in the most important heat of battle, and the first one probably, and it's really going to be quite hard for him to wall because, yet again, because of this very nice eyes here. So that's going to be a bit different dynamic to this Nomad than is usual. Looking also at the gods, gods, civilizations, gods are in Age of Mythology. We have Persians for Puccino, Viking, Kenosi, Influenzino is Chinese, whereas for Gach we have Mayan, Miguel's in Persian, and Alucard's Vikings. So that's a bit of a difference, the Mayan and Chinese. I would be slightly favoring the Chinese in here, but not really by much, as usually you can do something pretty good with the Mayans as well. And Miguel's in here is the first one who will be facing the brunt of the enemy's forces. He's having a pretty sweet spot, Relic and Double God, together with Stone, so not really anything bad for him. But does he have some extra food in here? He doesn't. Well, there are some extra boards at the bottom, but they seem to be more for blue, who is having also something on the left. So he's having a pretty decent amount of food, but really Miguelzen is in a pretty bad spot, and he definitely needs some help from the docks or go to the back. Going to switch into his point of view. He's probably not seeing that hunt, I would be guessing. Yeah, he doesn't, because if he did, he would be definitely moving there, as you need any kind of food at the very beginning, but so far that's not happening. He's building a dock in a pretty dangerous spot. It's very close to red, and of course also yellow, so he will be facing a double very soon, which basically means that he will be losing the water without any kind of problems, and well, you can kind of guess where it's going to go from there. The green player has also built a rock at the top of the peninsula, whereas grey is at the bottom, and where is actually blue just now finishing. Yeah, we have actually seen that a bit earlier on here. Let's turn off the chat so that we are not spoiled by anything. And I'm not really optimistic about the future game of Migazin. He's probably not going to be having the same kind of success like he did on Migration in game number 2. The last player to have a look at is right now Gach, who is on the very left side, and he has very nice placement of the boards in here. Also quite nice placement of the stone, gold as well, so not any kind of problem. And look at how he's playing Mayans. He will be definitely happy about the stone in there, and the one in the forefront for, yeah, even extra in here for castles and whatnot. But look at how actually the Jedi have got themselves just on the right side of the map, on the peninsula of them. If somehow LoS can contain them there and survive long enough, they might actually starve them, because they will be controlling quite a lot of land, which means quite a lot of gold mines and even stone mines, as there's not much of that on the right side, and definitely for the longer game. The Jedi haven't chosen the cleverest strategy, but usually on a Nomad, if you can survive the early game better than your opponent, you're much better set to win the game overall. So looking at the villagers, which is yet another good idea to look at, is Miguelzin at 15. which is usually what happens when you don't have any kind of extra food. And looking at Influenzino, right now at 21, and look at Guts at 13. Oh my. Well, LoS are definitely not off to a good start, and even though he did have pretty decent amount of boars in here, right next to his dog, and also a pretty good, decent amount of sheep. Does he know about the boar at the left? Yeah, he does. So I'm kinda surprised, why is he having just so many villagers, or rather so few villagers, which is really surprising and definitely going to put him down quite a lot, but Miguelzin is definitely working into the fishing industry in here, as he's having 13 fishing boats, which is by far the most of them all, and this is basically making up for the deficit of villages on the food in here. Algargats right now saying where they are. They're flaring all across the map, just now saying where they should be careful. And Puccio plays in second not quite nicely. So he has his opponent Miguelzin kinda cornered in here and surrounded. Let's switch into Puccio. And he actually knows about the rock. So yeah, this is definitely something that he did want to do. And well, really, I just right now have to repeat, because Miguelzin is probably not going to win this water battle and might not even want to engage in it, as it's going to be quite one-sided, I would be saying. Or thinking. Genossi is the first one to advance into the feudal age with 21 villagers, which is not bad. So he will be maybe galley rushing on the water at least a bit, not really sure. We'll see about that pretty soon. But Gach is the first to advance from LoS, and he is at 24 villages, which is not half bad and might be pretty strong force to be reckoned with on the left. And I kinda have to laugh about this wall. As well, he doesn't know about the map, so he doesn't know that all three guys are in here. So he's probably expecting that at least one of them is somewhere around here, which is not true. So yeah, this wall is unfortunately for you quite useless and not going to do anything at all. Well, that's a bit of a waste of resources, but that's it. This is Nomad. This is why this map is so interesting to play, because you need to count with the impossible and unpredictable. Really going for quite a lot of stone in here, so he will be probably advancing it through Castle Age for some town centers, and pretty sweet bow for him. With Miguelzin not really being happy about his placement, as he's right now recognizing that Puccio is in here, and he's maybe even seeing some other, yeah, also red. So right now he knows that his opponents are in here in more numbers than he's expecting, and he might be soon actually losing all those fishing boats. He might at least be retreating somewhere at the back to the corner, where he might be held by Gach and potentially even Alucard Guts, who are basically close to each other. Double Dog from Alucard Guts is kind of telling me that he might be interested in the water battle, but let's see if that's going to be fast enough or slow enough. Or rather too slow, that's the other one. Where is some kind of attack going on? Not there. It was just a bit of finish of the wall, with the villager returning back for the market, and this might be actually a sling from Delgach, and also the reason why he was walling himself in, even though he didn't really need to, and let's see if that's going to be what is expected. In the middle, Miguelzin is already prepared with the barracks and is going for stables, so that's going to be a bit of a raid-in, going for blacksmith, so of course faster castle age. Looking at the other players, basically the same will be true for Puccio probably, who will be finishing with blacksmith in just about a moment, whereas Influenzino is also having stables, so a bit of a scout cavalry raid-in coming in, and also a castle age. Gach and Influenzino both advancing, with red so far not. Is he going to be slinging in here? No, he won't. Blacksmith is coming in, so that's going to be Castle Age. And here you can see that Miguelzin has already been pushed the fishing spots in here and going somewhere back to the bottom, where he will be hoping that he can survive long enough for potentially his Castle Age and maybe even help from Gach and his allied Alucard Guts in there. Alucard Guts is already building a bit of a galleys here to basically repel the early push, which might be successful because just those two boats are not going to be strong enough. But, well, yeah, Alucard Guts also saying that he's going to help. And really, this amount of fishing spots, or rather fishing boats in here, if somehow Purple can send some villager in here to build a dock, he will be still in a pretty sweet spot. As a bit of a raiding coming on from Puccio into Miguelzin, as obviously he didn't really wall himself in all that well. A bit of an idle here from Miguelzin, but he is just now concentrating on trying to save the fishing boats, I would be thinking. So he's not really all that thinking about all those villagers. Right now though he is, as he's finally noticing and trying to finish with the mill in here and also a bit of a house, and that's actually the way through. So he should be careful if he doesn't want anybody to go through, but he doesn't get it enough, as obviously with this town center in here, he will be pretty much safe, or rather all those villagers will be safe, and Miguel's not really happy about his predicament right now, and yeah, he will be definitely needing quite a bit of help in the next game. Well, this spearman is on the wrong side, and he's actually trying to use the villages as well, which is definitely a good idea. And first castle ages are coming in from both Mikelzin and Pucino, and we actually already had from Gach with Influenzino, so pretty much the majority of the teams are already into castle ages. We see yet another stable being built, but what is also interesting to notice, there have been a lot of purple at the top. I was kind of hoping that he was rebuilding some kind of dock in here, because I think nobody would have expected from the Jedi for him to actually rebuild there. So yeah, this is exactly what has happened. Rather, exactly what has not happened, and well, in here, Pucino is having a pretty good stranglehold of Miguelzin, as he's not really allowing him to gather any kind of gold, and yeah, that's a bit of a problem. But looking how Chemos are coming in, not even those knights are going to be strong enough here against this purple player. But is he going to receive any kind of help, for example, on the water in here or whatnot? Well, there's a bit of a battle in here from, who is this? Miguelzin, who is actually trying to build a bit of fire ships, which is definitely a good idea. And with the support of Alucard Guts and the galleys, this could actually work. Yeah, fire ships are having a pretty huge number of Pierce armor, and they seem to be working, but of course Pucino has also caught up on this, and this will be basically up to either team who is having more of them and more of the galley support here. So this is going to be death of this ship, with yet another fire ship coming in, but well, secure water, and he definitely needs to do that. That's a pretty good advice from Miguelzin, and yeah, that needs to happen, because without the water they will be lost, especially with Miguelzin. And Alucargas right now will be probably slinging into Miguelzin, because he doesn't have, rather, Alucargas doesn't have much on the land. Yeah, he doesn't have anything in here, so he will be probably slinging. And looking how he's Viking, that's definitely something he should be doing, as that is the role of Viking on Nomad, as they don't have anything substantial to contribute to any kind of land battle, and that's the most they can make use of in any kind of game. Let's check. The slinging, so far no slinging going on for either of the teams. Actually, Miguelzin together with Gach are fighting about who is going to be slung. So let's see who Alucard Guts listens to. A lot of boats in here, not really any kind of attack. There's a bit of attack in here, but it's on the purple dock, of course, as they are just cleaning up, and also having war guys from Kenosee. Well, I wouldn't really expect that kind of involvement on the, or rather engagement on the water, but it's definitely going to make a lot of difference, and might be just faster way to close the water without any unnecessary further losses, as this is going to mean that Alucard is going to lose everything, and I'm thinking it's about time that Miguelzin, together with Gach, should be moving away from the water economy into something on land, as quite soon they won't be in a pretty good spot. Gach is so far having a bit of a plumed archers at the back, as he has built a castle in here, which is just on the hill, and basically just allowing some kind of defensible position that would be favorable to his plumed archers. Otherwise, a lot of stone in here, and he kinda needs to secure that. So let's see if this is just a normal pause or maybe yet another drop. That would be kinda unfortunate, and still quite some raiding going on from Pucino and Miguelzin, but shouldn't be all that successful because of the DC. And this DC is quite nicely positioned, as it blocks both the gold raiding from their opponents, and really could be helping quite a lot in getting some ground under his feet. Looking at the villagers in the meantime, 39 Gach, Miguelzin 32, 36 Alucard, whereas, ooh, Influenzio 56, oh my, Pucino 44, cannot see 35, so yeah, you can see that Influenzio, exactly as I was saying, the very early stage of the game, he is definitely the best player on a Nomad from the Jedi B team, and he's definitely confirming it. He's also doing a bit of a, well, not really raiding, he's just basically scouting with those two knights. There's not much of a raiding with wall in from Gah continuing into stone walls here, and he needs to be hurrying up a bit, because otherwise those guys are going to be finding ways inside his base, which is not something that he would be interested in all that much. But it could be happening just about now. Well, let's see. Does he have some kind of units in here? No, he doesn't. But he's having how many TCs so far? 2 TCs. I see this correctly. Oh, the grey. Yeah, he's having just 2 TCs so far. Same is true for the purple, who is right now defending with a decent amount of camels, so that shouldn't be all that much of a problem. Whereas, of course, on the water, as absolute ownage from the red player, who is having the war galleys, and there's not anything that could be happening from Alucard Guts, as he is the one slinging, and of course, just war galleys, or rather just galleys, are not going to be strong enough in there. Looking at the opponents, let's just check, for example, Yellow Puccino, who is so far having 2 town centers in here. Third at the bottom next to gold, 4th in here, so that's actually 40 seat oppression. Well, that's going to be a bit of a problem for LoS very soon. Whereas Kerinen also being researched for Kenossi, so he's definitely going full on water and doesn't mean to actually give up on that at all. Extra TCs also for Influenzino, who is right now having 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4 TCs for him, okay. So that's a pretty strong boom, and of course the reason for his 73 villages already, which is 25 more than his opponents, which is by a third more, and that's a huge problem for them. And really, this is kind of heading just one way, and it could be a bit of a surprise if somehow LoS turn this around. But still, let's see if they maybe can pull the rabbit out of the hat somehow. Just going to check the achievements, and still just Alucard got slinging and Tugach, and that could be making the difference in here, because so far the Jedi are not slinging, as they are just playing their usual game, which they are used to. And really, this sling could be the thing that might be helping LoS if they are making it at the correct moment, if they advance into Imperial Age soon enough and have some kind of moment of surprise against their opponents. A bit of a fight with the knights that are going to be dead in just a matter of moments, as the wall will be finished just about then. Goodbye, 90. And well, that's about it, but at least Influenzio knows what kind of units actually his opponent has, which is also quite valuable for the next progress of the game. Quite a decent army already gathering for Puccino, with Gah going for Imperial Age, of course, because of his sling, but he's so far not really prepared anywhere near the opposing side, which slightly surprising, and he should be kind of moving there, I think, because if he is forced to send everything from his home base that's just so far away, and will be basically buying time to his opponents to prepare for any kind of attack like that. And again, cleaning from Kenossi, still not any kind of response from the LoS team. I kind of don't expect it anymore. But a few fireships are actually being made into the dock, so they are not giving up fully. Alucard's having some kind of reinforcements with normal galleys. It could be still up for the taking, because fireships are obviously going to be good, but he needs like at least 5 or at least 5 or 10 of them before he can engage in some kind of reasonable battle. Bit of a raiding going on from Miguelzin together with Gak into their opponents. Seems to be doing reasonably well, but they are already retreating, and quite a lot of release actually from Green coming forward. And looking how he's advancing to Imperial Age and is Chinese, that's probably going to be some castle drop, I would be expecting. Somewhere about here on the hill, or on the left. Well, let's see about that, but castle is being built by Gak, and that's finally what I was saying a bit earlier, as he needs to build military buildings right next to his opponent, as otherwise he would be having just too long reinforcement times, which is a big problem in any kind of battle. So yep, this is a castle drop from Chinese. Unfortunately for LoS they don't see it, but right now they will. Will they? Yeah, they will. So right now they know, but unfortunately they don't have enough army to actually deal with that. Those camels will be killing just a bit of knights in here, but they will be just slaughtered by the camels from a yellow. And well, brute archers are probably not going to be fast enough, but let's just not be hasty. With proper micro he could be killing them. But probably not. Oh, this is going to be close. He needs to divide them and actually shoot at all of them at once, but no, castle is finished, and that's a big problem. That's not a big problem. That's absolutely a humongous problem right now for Miguelzin, together with together with Gach, because this basically is going to be a source of Jukonus right on their doorstep, and also of trebuchets right on their doorstep, and really this is going to be costing quite a lot of resources in dead units to LoS, and I'm not exactly sure if they will be having strong enough economy to deal with that. Well, we'll see. Extra villages coming in yet again, as Influenzio is probably having enough stone for yet another castle. Going to be dropped behind, or about here. Well, since they're under the castle, and castles are just having fun shooting at each other. Kinda funny in here. You can see a lot less hit points already for the green castles. Obviously, those archers are adding quite a lot. And with the trebuchet coming in from the green one, or rather grey one, yeah, we will be seeing a death of this castle very soon. So unfortunately for green, even though he was able to finish it, it's probably not going to be making all that much of a difference. So right now he's building a castle in here. And purple could be raiding it, but he doesn't see it. Yeah, that's a bit of luck for green in here. Building siege workshops. He really doesn't care how close is he building actually next to his opponent's base. Used to be pretty confident in here, but with 108 villagers against 86, well, who wouldn't be? And Sling Mick. Yeah, it seems like that Alucard Guts will be switching his Sling. Miguel's in. I kinda think this is the correct decision, because they need it, as Gach is right now pretty much set up in his Imperial Age with conscription and chemistry, and right now they need the paladins from the Persian, and well, yeah, this is going to be the next course of action for LoS and the game overall. The economy is super strongly going for the Jedi, but it's kinda being leveled out, because Gach is having 75 with Miguel's in 91, which is basically the same as Kenossi and Puccinho, but then is the difference between Alucard Guts and Influenzino. But we have to take into account that Alucard Guts is actually slinging, which is more like basically making up for the difference, because we should be seeing a same amount of armies from both of the teams in here. So let's see about that. Going to be probably a castle drop, yeah. Basically to deny any kind of nonsense like this. And it's a bit of a shame that actually there can be a dock placed in here. That could be maybe here, not exactly sure. But probably not, because if there could be a castle in here, or rather dock, well, kinda can guess what that would mean. That would mean a lot of galleys, and potentially cannon galleons in the Imperial Age. And that would be a pretty huge wreckage of either the right side or the left. The trebuchets right now fighting from the hill, so they could be having a better chance of actually taking down the castle in here. And yeah, this is kinda moving into a pretty big battle in here. This castle might be coming up, but quite damage, which I'm not exactly sure if it's actually beneficial for Gach, because he should have probably just abandoned it, deleted it, and gone somewhere else, because right now he's basically just wasting resources. Yeah, that was just 650 stone wasted like that. He could have saved like 300 of them, and Cavaliers are coming in from the yellow player, and Blast Furnace as well, so maybe Paladins won't be really all that far behind. A lot of Plumed Archers are going to be fighting in here together with support of Chemos, whereas quite a lot of Siege Rams are already on their way into the base of Miguelzin. And well, this is a pretty good push, and all the castles are dropping up from Influenzino, and yet another one. And he's definitely interested in retaking Miguelzin's base as fast as he can, and he's definitely doing a pretty good job at that. And well, Imperial Age is coming on from Miguelzin. And what kind of TC is he actually using? I hope it's not this front one. Oh, it is! It is! Come on! Oh my god. That was like 97 Imperial Age and it's gone. An Imperial Age takes so long to research, and well, that's a big problem, and a kinda rookie mistake from Miguelzin, because why would you build or rather research Imperial Age on the forefront of your base, whereas when you have actually back TCs? Oh my, why would you do that? Well, he definitely paid for that. And that's going to suck for him quite a lot, because Imperial Age takes like 3 minutes to upgrade or something like that. Quite a long time, which means that Cavaliers and Paladins will be 3 minutes later. That's just a huge difference, especially when you are already facing Cavaliers from your opponent, Paladins to be, and well, you can see pretty huge push, yet another castle from Influenzino, and well, I'm kinda not seeing how Miguelzin together with his allies can come back from this, because this is going to be just a slaughter. Yeah, those two corners together with Cavaliers are just a huge combination, and there's not much that LoS can do against that, as obviously Those plumed archers are strong with the hill bit in here, but without the support and getting rid of those Cavaliers without some kind of strength. Yeah, you are fighting basically Imperial H unit against Castle H unit, and that usually goes just one way, even though you might be facing a direct counter. Yeah, so that's a bit of a problem. Miguel's receiving some extra resources in here, and is he building the... Yet again, Miguel's in. Yet again, building, rather researching Imperial Age. In the town center next to the battlefront, whereas he has one at the back that would be basically safe, so is he going to lose this one as well? There's definitely time enough. If those siege rams are coming there soon enough, they could be still taking it down. But they don't seem to be interested in that. They are going for the castle first, and yeah, if only they knew. If only they knew this center would be coming down. And well, right now he will be lucky. But will he be lucky enough? Because obviously, as a pretty huge battle with paladins doing quite a lot of damage into Grey's army, and even though he's having the hill, which is definitely helping him quite a lot, once those Chukonos are right now joining in, that's pretty much going to be it. So, Imperial Age in. Finally, from Miguel's in, but look at how he's having just 71 villagers. I think he has dropped like 20. Yeah, you already see the GG's right now, and yeah, this is a pretty nice and very convincing win for the TheJedi. They definitely know their Nomad, and they are so strong in here. This 95-96% Imperial Age. Yeah, that's a funny one. That's a funny one. I kinda thinking that Miguel's in didn't think so in the progress of this game. Nicely controlled, nicely played, and the positioning of all three players on the small peninsula was quite nicely played and really helped them quite a lot. You can see they've basically used all the space in here. Yeah, this is just the planning behind their play. So GG, let's have a look at the achievements. Influencing on the MVP, most definitely. Most definitely, we could have seen that from miles away with his very strong boom and a very strong play. You can see just beastly echo. It was just so much better than everyone else that just kind of staggering in here. Well, well, well. Nicely played. GG.